Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Rob, Robot Shlomo, your Narrator Supreme, on another episode of Midnight's Edge After Dark. Joining me at Shabby Road Studios is Mr. Tom Connors.
Good evening, good sir. It is almost midnight, isn't it?
Yes, it is. We're living up to that name.
Yes, we are.
And joining us from the center of the earth, from Xanadu, is the one and the only, the Overlord DVD, Dictor Van Doomcock.
Greetings all, greetings! I am pleased to be here again with Tom and Rob to discuss all things related to geekdom.
Yeah, sorry for the delay in the show, but to be able to have the sun line up with the satellites and all this other crap that works out right, we have to wait till this time of the day to actually get transmission from the Overlord, so needless to say, I think it's worth the delay.
I would hope so. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, as well as see. So anyway, yeah, we're working on a couple small format changes for everybody. We're trying to keep things fresh and viable. So let's, we're gonna talk a little bit more as we go, but let's jump right into the news. Something happened.
Yeah, something big and exciting and strange and fucked up, and I don't know if anybody really expected it, and frankly, I'm not totally sure what to say up front. There's a lot to unpack, as they say.
Yeah, first, Christian Medina actually regards from Chile. We have listeners in Chile.
Oh, wow.
How about that? Wow.
Cool.
Good, glad you could join us tonight.
Awesome.
So,
So, needless to say, this is kind of a big story. You haven't seen this in a news brief for a couple reasons. One, it's not a story that we normally would cover here at Midnight's Edge. And two, it's one of those stories where we want to be able to talk about it a little bit and put in our 2 cents, look at every single angle, and that's kind of what the live show is going to be here from here on out. Of course, we'll still take our questions from our listeners at the end and all that kind of stuff, and it'll be very similar, and we'll always have guests like the Overlord here, but you'll see the news briefs pop up too from time to time for those who just want the news and don't want to listen to us goof around. But for all of you out there who want to listen to us goof around, welcome to the show, and we're glad to have you here. So, nobody expected this. Rob, unpack this for us. Let us know what's going on.
Yes.
The Overlord already did a video, but I'm sure he's going to have a lot to say about this, too.
So, Les Moonves, he's in some trouble.
The less we know, the better.
I got that. So anyway, there's been sexual harassment allegations coming up regarding Les Moonves, and they met the CBS shareholders, the board. They met today to vote whether or not to keep him on. And fortunately, Les has not. Fortunately for him, I should say, he has not joined the ranks of the unemployed. Let me just rip and read the New York Times, the paper of record, what they have on the right up here. Leslie Moonves, the embattled chief executive of CBS Corporation, survived the meeting on Monday, 3 days after the publication of an article alleging sexual harassment. Here they come. Here come. There you go.
You too, Rob?
Me too. Yeah.
They're coming to take me away. Huh?
Anyway, harassment against Moonves. The company went through the widely regularly scheduled meeting. Yep. Okay. Of its board of directors in advance of Thursday's earnings call. Afterwards, CBS said in a statement that its board was, quote, in the process of selecting outside counsel to conduct an independent investigation, end of quote. The company had announced the planned investigation on Friday, hours after the New Yorker published a report that included 6 women who said Moonves had asked them for sexual favors and retaliated when they declined. The CBS statement on Monday added, no other action was taken on this matter at today's board meeting. End of quote. And so the speculation that Mr. Moonves would face immediate consequences for his alleged behavior. And so ended the speculation, rather. Mr. Moonves is well known in the entertainment community, but has spent the bulk of his career executive suites rather in front of the cameras. Still, CBS board could face recriminations from consumers and from those who believe it should have taken immediate action. It's short-sighted and cowardly of the board, said Jeffrey Sonfeld, professor at Yale School of Management. Oh, well, he's from Yale. Of course he knows what he's talking about. I digress. They think they're showing courage on behalf of the CEO, but they're just circling the wagons right now. Mr. Moonves, 68, has been chairman of CBS board since 2016. The majority of its 14 members started 10 years when he was appointed in 2006. 3 of the 14 are women, and the board's average age is 73. Okay, so, and again, here they come for him. So it's Land of the Sirens tonight.
Well,
Yes.
Don't go. You'll be dashed upon the rocks.
So anyway, there goes my ride.
To the happy farm.
So anyway.
Quick, Doomcock, check the cage.
It's secure.
Okay.
Okay, well, anyway, the article keeps saying that...
I just figured New York would be one of his first targets.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it goes on to say the network's success is largely attributed to Moonves, who has been praised for his ability to select his hit shows. He moves comfortably among Wall Street investors and Hollywood producers, speaking as easily about negotiating carriage fees as he does programming for primetime audiences. Mr. Moonves draws an annual pay package worth $69.3 million. If the board ultimately fires him without finding him at fault, he will draw more than $184 million in pay and benefits as part of his exit. In similar case involving media company, Martin Sorrell, chief executive of WPP, the world's largest advertising group, resigned after allegations of personal misconduct were made against him. Before he left the company, concluded investigations into his behavior. He left the company, yeah. The company considered the matter closed. Mr. Sorrell was allowed to cash out his stock options. So basically, it's a lose-lose here it's a lose-lose for CBS. If they get rid of him, then they get rid of a guy who's made them what they are. But they have to pay him $180 million. But on the other hand, we get if he's the thing that's stopping Paramount and Viacom from all becoming one company, then this could be a power play on someone's part to oust him.
Yeah, that was brought up in several places. I think even CNN brought it up to Mr. Farrow, I think it was. Is that his name? What's
Ronan
his
Farrow.
Yeah, Ronan Farrow.
Ronan, who would be Mia Farrow's son, who actually broke this story and was responsible for breaking the Weinstein story as well. And we kind of discussed this just a little bit before the show started because we're like, yeah, there is that angle to it. We had heard that it was going to get messy. My sources even got a hold of me earlier and said some things about Star Trek. I'm not so sure if that is really on the table yet at this moment, but that will weigh in probably down the road. I don't know yet. I'm not going to comment on that part of it. On the other part of it, it's really tough to see somebody be accused of this kind of stuff. And when you have maybe one or two people saying something, it's, well, you don't know. There's somebody who's in, a position of power. Somebody might be trying to take advantage of that person. There was even a payout in one of these situations, so that could be looked at both ways. But when you have 6 people with stories that are very similar, the pattern starts to form.
Who was the payout?
It was that one actress, and I can't remember her name offhand. She's God darn it, because I don't have it in front of me right now, so I don't bog down the transmission here. But yeah, if you want to take a look real quick, Rob, I can kind of stretch it here with Mr. Doomcock. But yeah, so you did a video on this Overlord. What was your first reaction to all this? Kind of give us the short version of what you said in your video.
Well, I don't like the kind of mob rule mentality that is in social media these days. In general, I do not like people swarming all over someone at the earliest hint of scandal or political incorrectness or some shit like that. I mean, it stifles free expression. It serves as a kind of de facto thought police, keeps you from expressing yourself. Like this guy might be getting hardwicked, You know, I mean, basically there was nothing to the Chris Hardwick shit, as far as I understand it. I mean, and he had all these horrible allegations come out, and he got fired from various things, and now he's getting rehired because that kind of thing can happen. But that said, fuck Les Moonves. I have no goddamn sympathy for Les Moonves whatsoever, because what did he do? He got in bed with social justice warriors, and when you live by SJWs, you die by SJWs, because they're like fucking pod people at the end of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. You know, they just wait. They just wait until somebody in their midst like says one thing wrong or looks wrong or smells wrong, or they're all pointing at him and swarming him like goddamn, you know, living dead. And well, you know what? You made your bed, sir. You that you wanted to court these SJWs, you wanted to make a big show of, you know, founding a foundation or supporting the cause, and you had all these skeletons in your closet. You go fuck yourself, Les, because, you know, you're an enemy of anyone that cares about canon, anyone that cares about Star Trek. This was on your watch, pal. You fucked with our pop culture. And, you know, he just needs to go. I don't give a shit, you know, whether it's a happy retirement or, you know, he gets, you know, pilloried by the mob in the town square and they break out Madame Guillotine and their witch hunt. I don't give a shit. He's just bad for Star Trek, and he needs to fucking go. I don't care. Sherry Redstone or all that shit. I mean, they're probably all wretched, horrible people, but at least she wants to put the company back together again. And I'll have all the rights to Star Trek reside in one place. That might help. I don't think so. I think it's doomed. I think it's dead, Jim. But, you know, we got to take what we can. I mean, when the fall is all there is, the fall matters, as Richard III said in Lion in Winter. So, in my opinion, it can only help. It can't hurt. I mean, it can't get any deader than dead, and it's dead. Yeah.
The actress in question was named. I just saw the name was Nina Hartley. No, damn, that's the wrong page I'm looking at. No,
yeah,
sorry.
That's right. No,
it's actually actress Ileana Douglas.
Yes, that's. Thank you. Yes,
right.
Yeah. But yeah, so, and just like with James Gunn recently, and we pointed out, we don't like to jump to conclusions. Right. With a little bit of research, you could see that was a very, not to be punny, trumped up story by this conservative newspaper and guy who has it out for, this is what he does for a job, basically. And if with a little bit of research, you can kind of look into it and, pick it apart. This came out of nowhere all of a sudden, but as we said before, Ronan, sorry. I keep forgetting his first name.
Ronan Martins, fuck you.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Ronan Farrow said that they had been vetting and researching and working on this story for the better part of, 6 months, Rob?
Yeah. He's gone into this for the better part of 6 months. For the better part of 6 months, I believe. Yeah, so this is not something that just sprang up overnight.
And it doesn't sound... And of course, we have to say with a grain of salt, obviously, if Redstone had something to do with this, then they're hiding.
I don't think it matters at all. I don't think it matters at all.
This,
I mean, she didn't stick his dick in these women.
No, exactly. It's the point is
completely irrelevant.
What I believe, what I was getting to, though, is I believe Ronan Farrow's story that as soon as he broke the Weinstein story, these women reached out to him. I believe that. It sounds like a viable story. As far as it having anything to do with Redstone, I don't think so. I think, if anything, it was more or less just a gift that fell into her lap.
Yeah.
To be honest. And this is all opinion, so don't anybody take this like I'm trying to present it as a fact of any kind. But when you got 6 women saying something very similar, one is a payout, each of them said they were, assaulted the same exact way pretty much, and threatened and warned in a very similar way. It kind of paints a picture.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest here. Les Moonves, it doesn't really strike me the type that would do this kind of thing. I don't know the man, but he's been married to the same woman for I think the last 15, 20 years. Of course, like I said, we don't know what goes behind closed doors. But he's a little like dumpy little guy. I mean, like he almost looks like Barney Rubble at an AARP meeting. I mean, geez, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know the guy, so I can't tell. Who knows what goes behind in the office? So it's weird. It's a weird situation, but.
Yeah.
Well, they always say about power, is and all power is the ultimate
aphrodisiac.
Aphrodisiac. No, I didn't really want to go to aphrodisiac, but
look at guys like Harvey Weinstein. They used their power.
Yeah.
And then when their power became less and less, that's when the accusations started to become more and more. They were always kind of there when it came to guys like Harvey Weinstein, but we'd never really heard anything like this about Moonves outside of the one incident that I can think of offhand that Morality 124 brought up in the chat, and that was recently with Sherry Redstone claiming that she had been verbally assaulted and threatened by Moonves and a few of his people, I believe. So it's similar but different because it wasn't sexual assault, but the threats sound very similar.
Oh, I don't doubt that Les Moonves can't be a prick. I mean, but...
And speaking of his wife, she had even been reported, now there's reports coming out, where she would go around toting his weight, saying, you know who my husband is, if you don't do what I say, he'll have your ass fired. And I think she didn't even know who he was, evidently. But, no, it's... this is one of those touchy situations. You don't want to, say somebody's guilty until there's proof. And did they say specifically if there's just going to be an internal investigation, Rob, or if there is a criminal investigation?
There's going to be an internal investigation.
So no criminal charges at this time, or criminal investigation at this time.
Yeah, they're pending an internal investigation.
Well, yeah, I don't think anybody's alleging rape or anything like that. But
no,
look, the thing is that anyone in Hollywood, I am surprised that not every single male executive has fallen. I mean, look. Men are aggressive. Men are, the kind of aggressor sex of the species. Men chase women, and powerful men chase more women. It's just the way that it works. Powerful men have powerful appetites. They have powerful opportunities, and they may not even mean it at the time to be harassment. It may be simply an unwelcome, unwanted advance, and yet. Because when it's turned down, then they get offended because they are powerful men who are not used to taking no.
Don't you know who I am?
It doesn't happen all the fucking time.
Well, and you bring up a good point there, Doomcock, because in one of the stories, I believe it's in the one that was paid out that we just brought up her name. I think she said flat out that she asked what he was doing. And in the process of this, had already been a point where she had been pinned and kissed and all this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And he said, I'm coming on to you.
Right.
So to me, that tells me that, and it said to her too, the same kind of thing, is that this is a normal thing for this guy, to where he gets to the point where, like a lot of these powerful men in these positions, not to bring up names or anything, but to where they think they can just do what they want, or that this is coming on to somebody where, to where you and I and any normal Joe would know coming on to somebody is flirting or asking them on a date, not grabbing them, pinning them down, and assaulting them, basically.
Yeah, and basically, I want to be very, very clear. I mean, that is not okay.
No,
it's not as if I'm excusing it.
No.
What I'm saying is that actually I'm surprised that like every single executive hasn't been brought down at this point by some incident like that in the past. I mean, these people are fucked up. They don't have the same awareness or morality as normal people, as you just said.
See, and
Tom.
people need to remember it's not just Hollywood, and everybody calls it Hollywood, and this stuff only goes on. No, it goes on corporate America. It goes on in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
It goes on everywhere. It's just that certain people are so powerful that depends on where their power lies. You know what I mean? And how they can swing that power. And
exactly. How they can manipulate that power.
Whether it's destroying your career, whether it's getting you in trouble with the law instead of them, or hiding the fact that, they have power, they have sway over the the police or a local judge or something like that and can have a case thrown out or buried. All these little things that happen in everyday life that people forget about, that it's not just in Hollywood, it's everywhere, especially where there's money and power. Yes, anywhere there's money and power. And, sexual harassment happens in the everyday workplace, but it doesn't generally get brought to the forefront as much as it is when it's these big deals, because now you're looking at a situation where chances are money's going to change hands, and that's where the questioning comes into the accusations, and you have this whole cesspool of who, he said, she said shit. But just like with Cosby and Weinstein, these accusations started piling up and piling up and piling up and piling up to the point where you almost have to start believing that they're guilty, not without a trial, and not to even get to that point, because there's just so many and the stories are so similar, and most of these people don't seem like they're out for any kind of financial gain of any type. And there's no
I agree. I believe them. I believe them more or less because of Farrow. I mean, he was spot on with the Weinstein thing. He's got experience reporting this stuff. He's got experience vetting these women, and he wouldn't have gone to press. I mean, he won a Pulitzer, I think, because of his shit with the Weinstein stuff. He's not going to risk his reputation on some fly-by-night, ambulance chasing shit. So if he vetted it to the point where he felt confident with 6 women to publish, there's some credibility there.
Right, and that's just it. That many is, like we were looking at the same thing with Cosby and Weinstein, the numbers start to add up. And if the stories are similar, which they are, and frankly, like you said, sure, nobody has cried rape yet, but this is some pretty serious advances from these stories that I read. And at first I was thinking, and this is how, and just to give Moonves the benefit of the doubt, this was me going into this story when we started doing our research and stuff. I was like, okay, this is probably just some very slight, random, misconstrued, out of context, office bullshit, which you were kind of mentioning before, was, the men are usually the aggressive ones in the power positions and da-da-da-da-da. It's just kind of been that way since the 50s, 60s, and on. Just nobody ever said anything about it. You were expected to get a little harassment in the workplace, you know what I mean? If you were a good-looking lady, that was just expected, not to condone it in any way. But I was just sitting here figuring, okay, it's going to be a few, women who are either trying to get a payout or didn't get what they wanted, maybe just to give them the benefit of doubt. No, I start reading into this shit, and it's like, okay, this is pretty bad. This is some serious shit. Farrow did his research, and this lays out a pattern of abuse that is just scary, in a sense that there's got to be more. That's what really makes you start to go, okay, so these 6 came forward. How many more are there? Yeah.
I mean, you say he's kind of Rob said he's kind of a, short, dumpy guy. Well, short, dumpy guys have a complex with women. I mean, they have not had a good past with women generally. So when they get a little power, they can be little Napoleons. I'm not saying that he is, but that's no defense. Schlubbiness is no defense.
No, well, that means if Midnight's Edge really takes off, then I'm next on the Me Too list. So.
You have to actually talk to women, though, Rob. That's the first thing.
I said to them, I know. I said, you don't think I talked to them?
I'm just being a shit. I'm giving you shit. We got Tim Augustine, though. Thanks for the $5. Another $5 for the MEAD musical. Can't wait to hear Doomcock and Harvey random duets. Andre, of course, sings alone. Does he sing Send in the Clowns?
Yeah, we had a duet the other day.
The Clowns.
You and Harvey, or you and
Yeah, we did. Me and Harvey.
What'd you sing?
Burning Ring of Fire.
Do it now.
No.
I'm just fucking.
That was on my little Patreon site. I don't do that now. Harvey's not around.
It's just for the.
You're off, Kitty. So, oh boy. So
yeah.
Matt Deckard says, "Is Midnight's Edge an incel?" No, not none of no. We're not incels. I mean, there's a difference between being an incel and just being on a dry streak. So
no, I'm just giving Rob a hard time. I'm just giving him a hard time. He probably does more than I do.
But that's what you used to call being in this whole thing. Incels. Like you used to call it just being in a you used to be in a slump. That's all. Hey, you know what? You get in there, you take your cuts, and you try to turn it around.
I just got to give Rob a hard time.
Poor Rob.
It helps him keep him sharp for his comedy, because then he's got to come with the comebacks. You know, like Rocky. I'm like his.
Yeah.
You suck, Rock.
You gotta eat lightning and crap thunder.
You're a bum.
I'm a bum.
You've been a bum.
Hey, man, I dig your locker.
It stinks.
Hey, does she like the zoo? Take her to the zoo.
I think we got to stop that joke there. That one's not PC.
I skirted the line.
I know. It's
And
just
I can quote it anyway. Fuck them. Who are they to say I can't quote classic movies?
I know,
Go
right?
Fuck yourselves.
I know, right?
Fuck you.
Neil asks, when did the word incel become popular? I have no idea. When does anything become popular?
I don't even. By the time I understand half of these, whatever you want to call them, monikers or
This new lingo.
Yeah, fuck it.
Random asked if I'm not on the new mic. No, this is my old mic.
Oh.
I'm on a different computer.
Damn it! No wonder we're not getting the booming sound.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's.
I didn't have time to configure it to fucking to Skype. It's I don't know. It does. I was in a hurry. I'll get it configured next time.
Say, Tom and Rob, are you tempted to press the button after watching Rise of the TMNT earlier? Yeah. So stay tuned for Rob and I's review of that shit.
I came close to letting Harvey out of his containment field after that.
Don't do it, man. You'll get fried. There's multiple redundant security features. Don't even try.
Well, either way, we're just trying to end our lives. So
either way, the pain ends.
That's right.
The bad touching ends.
I'm really touched that Rob would be such a great pal for considering lowering my containment field. It's like no, that's my bad impression of Harvey.
More like he would try and talk Doomcock into going to the other room and leave you two alone, and then he'd just talk you into it while Doomcock's in the other room.
That's right. Would you mind if we left me and Rob together? He wants to pitch woo. I've heard he's been on a dry streak, I think Tom said.
Well, you're sexually fluid, right? Since you're a creature from another dimension, it doesn't really
I'm
matter.
Harriet Cthulhu. Pound me too. Pound me too. Is there money in Moonves touching you? He touched me. He touched me. He put his hand near my field and then he touched me.
Coming up, Harvey's rendition of I Touch Myself by the Divinals.
Oh, too soon.
I'm too sexy for myself.
There we go. We got to do another album after Doomstock where it's just Harvey singing sexually suggestive songs.
Harvey Cthulhu sings "Let's Get It On."
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then
he'd like that.
He'd like stuff like I want your sex by George Michael. Let's talk about sex by Salt and Pepper. You know, just change it up a little bit. Besides that, of course, Let's Get It On and Sexual Healing and whatever good ones you can think of.
The the da. That's all I want to do in you.
I want to hear Harvey sing "Why Don't We Do It in the Road."
Why don't we do it in the road? Why don't we do it in the road? No one will be watching us. Why don't we do it in the road?
That's the song.
that's the whole song, right?
Yeah.
Why don't we do it in the road?
Oh, we've gone off the rails here. So is there anything else anybody has to say about Moonves?
No.
All right.
I hope if he's innocent that, he gets proven that way, but I hope it gets proven after he's out of Star Trek and has stopped doing harm to the franchise.
Right.
And if he's guilty, fuck him. I hope he pays for it because it's a shitty thing to do.
All right. So we got some other news. This is kind of a follow-up to actually our first news brief, which we had reported that there were rumors going all over the place that X-Men, Dark Phoenix, and New Mutants was on the chopping block, and we weren't going to see them. But I think it was comicbook.com did some digging.
Yeah.
We did our own version of the story. Do you have that one, Rob? Or
Yeah. This is in the biz what you call a rewrite.
Yes, because we didn't quite like their version, and we might make a video off of this. So if you see it pop up, that's where it's from.
Yes. So X-Men and Dark Phoenix and New Mutants confirmed for 2019 release. As we reported here at MEAD, rumors began swirling that in the wake of the Fox sale to Disney, New Mutants and X-Men Dark Phoenix were not expected to be released, or perhaps not until further down the road straight to streaming. In light of this, comicbook.com recently reported that the rumors were not true. In a follow-up story to support their claim, they released another story pointing out that IMAX released their quarterly earnings report, which also provides investors with a forecast of what they can expect in the coming year. And in that, they released their upcoming slate for 2019. It appears that X-Men Dark Phoenix and New Mutants are both included with their respected release dates. This doesn't mean that in the meantime Disney hasn't changed its plans, but since it will take some time for everything to go through and the amount of money invested into these films, one could only expect at some point they would see the light of day, even if it was less likely to be in theaters. They also point out that Sophie Turner herself has spoke about the reshoots just as recently as earlier this month. Turner, who stars in the now simply called Dark Phoenix as Jean Grey and the titular character, was unavailable for the reshoots until wrapping her obligations on Game of Thrones, which ended filming in July. Ended filming just recently. She says, I think it's just a few bits and bobs. I got to read that with an English accent. I think it's just a few bits and bobs, reshooting wise. Turney said, I sound like an extra from Oliver. Jeez. To be honest, I don't even know what we're reshooting at the moment, so I really couldn't tell you much about that one. All I know is that I'll be back in Montreal at some point soon, and that Valentine's Day release is quite a positive thing because Black Panther got a release, and that Valentine's Day release is quite a positive thing because, I read that twice. So we're keeping positive about it. It has been reported in the past that reasons for moving the films had to do largely with the reshoots, which for New Mutants was confirmed by director who implied he was no longer part of the project, and putting the films in better release slots that have proven to be successful for superhero films in recent years. Also, this last month, Marilyn Manson's video for Cry Little Sister from the soundtrack from New Mutants was released, causing even more confusion. X-Men Dark Phoenix is scheduled to hit theaters on February 14th, 2019. New Mutants is set to premiere on August 2nd, 2019. And that's the story.
Yeah.
So
did you fall asleep there, your Overlord?
Oh, no, just listening. Just listening.
So, yeah, there's a lot we could take away from this. My personal opinion is I don't think Disney has made their decision yet. I think both rumors are just rumors. I don't think we'll know until they know, and they don't know yet because they aren't in control until just after the first of the year, and they may not even be in control yet when Dark Phoenix is technically scheduled to be in a release. Now, if they were going to try and release them before Disney's reign, you would think they would have kept their original scheduled time slots. No one knows why they were moved outside of reshoots, and there's a lot of speculation around these reshoots because this would be like the second or third time each film has gone back for reshoots. So it just brings up a lot of questions, and I have a feeling if the reshoots are signals of anything, it's that Disney does plan on probably eventually releasing them, but they would like them to take out certain references and maybe story points that they may want to utilize later on down the road so they're not so fresh in people's minds. And then there is that, of course, rumor that Kevin Feige himself feels like that they already fucked up once with telling this story. He doesn't want them to fuck it up again. So everybody thinks that he's going to have a say in shelving it, which I don't see where he would have much of a say in that as far as the corporate situation goes, because this would have to come from higher up, in my opinion. What do you guys think of this? Doomcock, what do you think?
Well, I think you're right. I think there's no way to really know. I think that you're right. I think Disney hasn't decided. I just can't figure out why the fuck they wouldn't want to do it. I mean, these are successful movies, and it seems like a cool project. I don't know what is their problem with it. Do you have any idea?
Well, the rumor going around is that since now Disney is the proud owners, are going to be the proud owners of Fox, and with that comes the luxury of the X-Men and all the other characters that they couldn't get their hands on before, they now have them. So Feige would rather them not see the light of day, because rumor is that Dark Phoenix is fan-four-stick bad.
Oh.
And and as far as New Mutants, I'm surprised. See, you could probably edit New Mutants to where you don't have to really make it feel like it's in an X-Men universe, because it still looked like it would probably work on a horror film level.
Yeah.
Or why they just didn't get that out there when it was supposed to be out is beyond me as well, and just get it out of the way. But that one I'm not so worried about, because I don't think they spent nearly as much on that as they did Dark Phoenix. Dark Phoenix is a totally different story. And granted, I'm sure with the merger, a lot of those people who invested in the film are going to be getting their money back, because these type of big movies, the money doesn't come usually from like outside investors. It usually comes right from the studio, from their bank line. So they're taking any loss or whatever, and if they don't release it, maybe they'll get money from insurance. Who knows? It's hard to say at this point. That's why I really say take all these rumors with a grain of salt. No matter what you hear, unless it's something official from Fox or something official from Disney, it's still fucking rumor, because they're the ones who are going to have the deciding factor in this. And if we go by what proof is out there, these movies are still going to be coming. If you go by what Sophie Turner is saying, why would they do reshoots if they're not going to release it? Unless we hear the reshoots are canceled. If we hear the reshoots are canceled, then the movie's done.
Yeah.
They're either just going to shoot it out there on streaming, or we're never going to see it. That's what I think. But that's kind of where we're at with this whole thing, to kind of wrap it up in a little bow.
Jesus. So it's that awful.
The rumors of the test screenings are, and that's the thing where I think that they might be pulling out even more Marvel references, because some of the first test screenings reported that any mention of the Skrull was taken out.
Supposedly the Skrulls were removed from the final shooting script, supposedly.
Interesting.
So and according to the actors, when they filmed it, that was in the script. So who's to say that some of these reshoots aren't to cover up some of the other things that, like, Feige's like, well, I want to use this, I want to use that, so take that out, don't mention that. It could be that simple, or it could be just things that need to be fixed, and they're still going to release it. Who knows? Because it could be a couple years before Feige even starts working in any of these characters.
I would imagine the wheels turn slowly. They got a whole bunch of, scheduled shit and, pattern of release. Shoehorning them in, it's going to take a while.
Well, and then also we haven't heard much about X-Force, but we do know that Deadpool 2 did very well. So there's no way they're not going to do a Deadpool 3 or an X-Force movie. So I'm surprised that they haven't announced a start date for filming on that yet. I was assuming that would start this fall. So, but Rob, what's your take on this, since you've been so quiet?
I think we're going to see these movies at some point, just because they've sunk so much money into them. They got to get something out of them. I mean, whatever they're insured for now, it can't be enough to cover the cost of the movie. And they'll release them even if they have to take what's called a write-down on them, which means that, on paper they have what originally they estimated the gross to be, or the money was going to make, and then they literally correct it. Well, we estimated it was going to be $500 million. Oh, well, we had to write that down to $350 million, and then they show it as a loss. So,
Well,
But
that's
I think
what I'm
we're going to
wondering
see
if they'll use like some kind of tax break and they'll never see the light of day, kind of like with the original Fantastic Four back in '94 or whatever.
Well, the original that was only made just to keep the rights.
Exactly, and I think they got their tax break as long as they didn't release the movie. That's the only reason they didn't release it, because they had originally planned on releasing it anyway, was what I thought the plan was. Otherwise, that's why the trailer and stuff got out there on their videos and stuff, because $1 million is what Corman spent on a movie anyway. You know what I mean? That wasn't like everybody, as far as they knew, only a couple people knew it wasn't going to see the light of day, probably. And then I think at some point they actually kind of thought about releasing it, and I think they just got the kibosh on that. I don't know the whole story. I just know what's in the documentary and what I've read. But regardless, it's the whole tax thing. It's like, it's hard to say. With a movie this big, if they get a tax break on it, we'll never see it. That's what I think. Because I think part of that is they can't show the movie then, because they can't make any money on it if they're going to, get the money instead of releasing it from the... Or not the taxes, I mean insurance. Sorry, I didn't mean tax. I mean insurance. If they get the insurance off it, then they probably can't release the film, is what I'm thinking. So, and they could probably claim insurance on it because of Disney taking over the company. They could argue that it's going to be disruptive to what they have plans to do. So maybe they can get away with it. I have no idea. If somebody else knows this stuff better, may have an idea out there, go ahead and let us know. But I don't know exactly how insurances work when it comes to movies, because I know it's like whether or not they complete it or not, I don't think it matters. I think usually it has to do whether or not it gets released and all this other shit, and that's all I know.
Well, yeah. Well, like I said, at some point, I still think at some point we're going to see this film, and even if it's going to make it, it'll if it's not going to be released, it'll still make the bootleg circuit. Trust me, these things have a way of getting out. Hey man, check out what I got. So, yeah, this day and age, you can't keep this kind of thing under wraps.
Well, and they showed the trailer, some European. What was it?
Cine Europe.
Yeah.
Cine Europe.
So I mean, the trailer exists. We know that much, and the movie's been shown to test audiences, as far as we know. But
I'm surprised it's not leaked on the internet, the trailer at least.
Well, and that's what some people were saying, was that there's a good chance if they decide not to release this movie, that enough people probably have had access to it that it will make its way on the internet.
Yeah, I hope so.
And I wouldn't be surprised, because Wolverine's origin movie made its way to the internet how many months before it came out in theaters. And that was mainly because the people working on the movie wanted to show the fans how bad the movie was, as far as I know.
Yeah, these things will have a way of
Ang
getting
Lee's
out.
Hulk also got leaked early, too, if I remember correctly.
That didn't do that movie any favors.
No, not really.
No.
Oh no. So anyway, so that's where we stand as far as the Dark Phoenix goes.
I mean, I've been rambling about the whole thing, but I really it's really one of those tough things that I don't know if the studio will shelve a movie that big. I'm trying to think of the last time a studio shelved a movie that big, and I can't think of one. So unless somebody else can think of one.
Nope.
No, not really.
New Mutants, I wouldn't be
imagine.
surprised, but
That's why I just can't imagine they're not going to release it. I mean, even if
Right.
God knows, Hollywood, what? Hollywood's immune to or averse to releasing shitty movies? Since when, man?
right.
Ishtar.
Well, and that does then lend some credence to Disney interacting with them and asking them possibly as a favor to push it off till it's their problem, and then once it's their problem, maybe it will get shelved. I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs. I wish I did, because then I'd have the answers, obviously. But just from my understanding of how insurance works, of how movies are put together, and what we heard from the director of New Mutants and how upset he was, and he was basically implying that the movie was never going to see the light of day. So who knows?
Okay. Well, I think we've pretty much covered that.
Yes.
Pretty well. So
I'd like to see it, though, just to see how much of a train wreck it is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I want to see it more than ever now.
I love bad movies. I'm sorry. I love the Corman Fantastic Four. I'll watch that any day over the Chris Evans one.
Or Fantastic for fuck's
sake. I gotta watch that again just to do the review of it. But yeah,
Prince Caspian says no surprise on the Gambit movie, probably dead. Yeah, that was. I doubt that was. I never had any solid belief that was ever going to be made.
See, and that's where I'm starting to wonder about the insurance too, because that one they can get away with all the money that they've spent on that and covering any contracts with the insurance there, because the movie did never see the light of day. Or probably never will.
No. I mean that ship has sailed. Yeah, this random game here says you all seem distracted or sleepy. I'm like, well, it's actually after midnight right now. I'm literally on the edge of midnight.
It's after dark, people.
Doomcock's been busy working on robots and shit all day. I've been busy working on videos and shit all day. It's been a long day for everybody, but hey, I know what'll pep us up. Let's take some questions from the listeners because
we got 128 people watching along in the chat. Let's.
And Graham Strauss, that's probably because I am a disappointed dad.
Morality says 124 says to quote Professor X, is there any nudity in it? No, that was from Dream On. That was from do you remember that show Dream On HBO?
Yes.
With Brian Benben, and Michael McKean was the editor, the Australian editor. I'm working on a book about great, any rough sex in it.
Basically, almost like a weird version of his David St. Hubbins.
He's a weird version like Rupert Murdoch or something that. Yeah.
I vaguely remember that show.
Yeah, I didn't really watch it that much, but I do remember that.
I watched the reruns on Comedy Central, and they edited all the good bits out. But Vote Saxon says his thoughts on reaction to the statement made by Guardians of the Galaxy cast regarding James Gunn firing. I think it's. I like the idea of them stepping up and supporting their director.
I like that they stepped up, but did they really take a stance?
Well, how are you going to take a stance?
If you read it, though, here's the thing. Here was the thing, and this is why I bring this up. I said this to a couple people in private, and I said, last week I'd have said there's 0% chance James Gunn's getting rehired. Not a fucking chance. Anybody can sign any petition they want. It's not going to happen. But then all of a sudden you had a bunch of the stars and stuff like that start to speak out. And I'm like, if a bunch of these guys get together and say that they won't do the movie without him, they're going to have Disney at a standoff. And then if the fans turn around and say they're going to boycott Captain Marvel, which I think I did bring up in the last podcast, if the fans come out and say they're going to boycott Captain Marvel, then you've got a clusterfuck of a PR problem 10 times worse than anything they had before.
If they find a kid underneath the front porch, then Disney's fucked. They don't want to, but I'm just saying, you're kind of putting a lot of faith in the guy if you come out and make a bold declaration.
Right. Well, there's that too, but there's the other end of it though, is, Disney did kind of a knee-jerk thing here and just fired him like that. And Alan Horn fired him. Okay, we haven't heard from Kevin Feige, and we haven't heard from Bob Iger. Neither one of them have weighed in on this yet. So, this whole knee-jerk reaction by Horn firing him first without any kind of investigation or anything like... Look at the whole situation we just talked about earlier with Moonves. He's still got a job while they're doing an investigation. Why wasn't Gunn treated the same way in this instance?
Because it's not kids.
I get that. But at the same time, it's a PR problem from both ends now. And you have everybody just in an uproar about it. And you've got a thing where there's 350, almost 400,000 signatures now. Now it's going to, it's getting traction in the news. It's, it's turned into a big clusterfuck for them. They're going to have to make some decision on it sooner or later. Iger or Feige's going to have to say something. But anyway, next question.
Next question. Let's see what else we got. Let me see. Fuck, what the hell happened? My chat blanked out on me. My browser crashed.
does that to me sometimes too, where it'll go white. And then,
I saw an interesting one, Morality 124, saying, I've heard more commentators saying that R-rated Trek is confirmed. Is this just regurgitated old news, or is there something new to report?
Now, who was it that come out and said something? Simon Pegg's out talking again. That's who it was. Said that they're close on Star Trek 4, that it's going to be R-rated, but Tarantino Trek is now somehow 6 years out. So I have no idea what the fuck. I'm not even going to get into that.
6 years? Yeah. Jesus.
It sounds like just a bunch of horse pucky to me.
Yeah, I don't... That's bullshit.
But you got to remember, Pegg, I think, has a little bit more investment in this, because isn't he like an executive producer or something like that anyway?
It's like a co-writer or something.
Well, I know he wrote the third film, but I mean, him and JJ are buddy-buddy anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's dead to me. I don't give a shit what Pegg said. After the shit he's slung at fans and he's Jar Jar's friend, fuck him.
He got upset because he said, look, George Takei, oh, look at me, I made Sulu gay, aren't you happy? And George Takei say, well, I think that's disappointing. I feel that if you're going to create gay characters, that you should create new ones.
Well, didn't he say something like, I never played him as gay anyway, or something like that? Yeah.
And actually he said, Sulu was married to a glamazon,
Yeah, he had a daughter.
Yeah, he had a daughter, yeah.
Right.
So...
Well, that's the integrity of the actor. I mean, he's not subordinating his signature role to make some kind of SJW point. He never played Sulu as gay. Sulu wasn't gay, and that's that.
Right. So anyway, Neil's got a good question here, because we were going to talk about this anyway. With Carrie Fisher being confirmed, episode 9, as I think he means pre-used footage from episode 7, is that an indicator that Kathleen Kennedy has lost control over Lucasfilm, given her prior comments on Fisher? Okay, there was a story that just come out just before we started doing this, and I guess this would be like the first thing we've heard Kennedy say since all the rumors and everything have been going down. Where was the story from that I sent you, Rob? I can't remember.
Express.co.uk, and it's appeared in various places too.
Okay, well, anyway, the crutch of the story, or whatever you want to call it, the whole basic of the story is that somebody had asked her about the whole Carrie Fisher being footage reused from episode 7 and episode 9, and she said that JJ must have been confused. And JJ went with this story to StarWars.com, mind you, not some other publication where he could be misquoted possibly, but directly to the source that gives out this news, their official website. So this was supposedly signed off by her. Was how the story kind of went. I think Rob's looking it up now to get the specifics.
Yeah, well, actually,
but
somebody had a Tyler Bioshock said about how there was a movie called Nothing Lasts Forever that was canned after press screenings.
Okay.
That starred Zach Gilligan. And was produced by Lorne Michaels in the mid-'80s. There's been quite a few movies that have been made.
Was it a big, huge, expensive movie like this, though? Was it like, to me, this is like this happened to like a Batman movie or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Can I see Kathleen Kennedy? Okay, yeah, stretch while...
But yeah, so to me, this kind of sounds like Kennedy's out of the loop. Don't you think, Doomcock? Or
yeah, it sounds like it to me. I mean, she's gone back and forth on this shit. I think they're just not informing her. I think the whole thing's a disgrace, honestly. I mean, all this shit about, we talked to Carrie Fisher's daughter, and she gave us permission and said Carrie Fisher would have always wanted us to reuse her old footage in this movie. And who's in the movie? Carrie Fisher's daughter. Yeah.
Okay, I got the story here. Todd Fisher speaks out after Kathleen Kennedy called him confused over Leia. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Carrie Fisher's brother Todd has thanked J.J. Abrams after previous confusion over Leia's scenes in Star Wars Episode 9. Fisher suggested that last year late actress would be in the final movie in the saga, courtesy of unused footage from The Force Awakens and or The Last Jedi. But Kathleen Kennedy, president of Lucasfilm, said he was confused adding she had no idea why he said that. There has been an about turn, however. On Friday, it was confirmed that unused footage of Carrie Fisher will be used in the saga finale after all. J.J. Abrams really made this happen, Todd told The Hollywood Reporter. If I was in any way an inspiration for the final decision to keep Leia a part of the story, that's great. I must say, all these freaking pop-unders here. I must say, at times, I feel like a voice crying in the wilderness. Kennedy has not commented on the U-term, but presumably signed off on a statement Abrams released on Friday as the news was announced. We desperately loved Carrie Fisher, he beamed. Finding a truly satisfying conclusion to the Skywalker saga without her eluded us. We were never going to recast or use a CGI character. Other legacy characters, okay, yada, yada, yada. Kerry Russell, hotness, and okay. Okay, yeah. So, it looks like Kathleen Kennedy is definitely not... doesn't have her finger on the pulse of anything that's going on.
She's not hip. She's not with it. Oh, balls! It does though. It sounds like she's way out of the loop. What do you think? I know you got to think that, Doomcock.
Oh, I think so for sure. I think the whole thing is fucked up. I think they need to not have Leia in this next movie. But you know what? They're going to just try. They're going to do anything they can to put Leia, Han, and Luke in the same shot in this fucking movie. They're going to raise Han Solo from the dead, or they'll use old footage of him. This thing is going to be a goddamn, pandering, desperation play.
What if they make all three of them Force ghosts?
Yeah, right. Well, that'll be disgusting because they will know it's not real. It's reused footage.
Well, we already know. All right. I mean, I'm not against it. I'll say that much. I'd rather they use footage that wasn't used, or however they do it, manipulate it, instead of doing a CGI version, recasting her, or killing her off screen.
Yeah.
All three of those, I'll take the reused footage over. Sorry, Rob.
Yeah, I keep calling this. This is the Lucasfilm apology tour. That's what I keep calling this. Everything we've seen lately, Dave Filoni, Star Wars Rebels, the casting news, J.J. Abrams, all of this is trying to make Billy D. Williams, writer guy. I think Ewoks are in charge. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Ewoks before this is all over. I really wouldn't be surprised. And the last shot, I think, is going to be Lando Calrissian flying away in the Falcon. And like he said, I missed you.
I heard a rumor that it's Kylo Ben by the end.
I hope not.
Oh, God.
Kylo Ren doesn't have a taste for a cool, refreshing Colt 45 malt liquor.
Besides,
works every time.
I love her. She's my little pudding cup.
Oh, Kylo Ren. Why would Kylo Ren take the Falcon?
Because he's going to turn to the good side. You know.
Because Rey gave it to him. And nobody consulted Chewie, who actually should own the fucking Falcon.
And Leia's not going to die. I'm going to tell you that right now. She's going to live. She just won't be in the movie that much.
She's going to be like
Timothy. You know what? Like, she won't be in the movie at all.
Well, technically, yes, Doomcock, that is true. And even Carrie Fisher would probably laugh at that joke. But the point is, they're not going to kill her. I have a feeling now, if they're going to do this, it's just going to be I have a feeling they'll manipulate whatever they have. And there was a lot of stuff, I'm sure, that JJ... I know there's stuff that was in the script that didn't make it into the movie, but I'm sure JJ has enough stuff to work with. And I don't know. But considering, to me, the bigger news was Mark Hamill was confirmed. To me, that was the bigger news to me. Because everybody's like, oh, he's not in it, he shaved his beard, he's not going to be in it, blah, 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 blah. It's like, how could he not be now, especially at this point? What else are they going to do?
SC Reviews is saying, hold on, Guardians released a statement. Okay. Nothing new on James Gunn.
Okay. Tim Augustine gave us $5. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you again, Tim.
Screw it. Here's another 5 dedicated to hearing Harvey sing Let's Get It On. Rob, your chance to breach entertainment when DVD facepalms save us. So, Harvey.
I don't know. I don't think he knows it. I don't think he knows that one, damn it.
Let's get it on.
I don't know. He doesn't know it.
And when I get that feeling, I want sexual healing.
That works too.
Sexual healing. It's good for me. Sexual healing is something that's good for me. Baby, I'm hot just like an oven.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Sorry,
Harvey Cthulhu.
doesn't know the Let's Get It On.
That's all right. That's all right. I think that's acceptable, I hope. Did we lose you there, Rob?
I had the mic on mute for a second.
I was going to say you had to because there's no way you weren't laughing at that shit.
I was saying that. I was about to say, Harvey, are you sure it isn't tentacle healing?
Tentacle healing, baby.
Got me hot as an oven. Push that button. He just slips it in there subliminally.
Mother, everybody thinks we're wrong. But who are they to judge us simply 'cause our hair is long? Great song.
So yeah, actually, I'm looking up this movie, Nothing Lasts Forever, science fiction comedy directed by Tim Schiller, starring Zach Gilligan, Lauren Tom, Mort Saul is in it. No way. Anita Ellis, Sam Jaffe, Bill Murray, Imogen Coca, Dan Aykroyd, Eddie Fisher, Rosemary DeAngelis, Apollonia von Ravenstein, Paul Rogers. Music by Howard Shore. Cinematography Fred Schuller. Like I said, directed by Tim Schiller, produced by Lorne Michaels. Film opens, Adam Beckett regularly performing a record pianist, organist. Beckett, he's using piano player. Sounds weird. Maybe that's why it didn't get released. But it's been uploaded. It's been uploaded to YouTube, so you can probably see it.
Oh well, there you go.
Yeah. So yeah, you want to watch it bad enough. I mean, I watched the 1928 film Metropolis on YouTube.
Yeah, that's popular, man.
Yeah, well, I kind of regret that to this day. It's it's a landmark film. It's kind of bad, actually, guys.
It depends on which version you see, but it is it is what it is. You got to go into it expecting to know what you're getting into too. It's
Oh, Metropolis is pretty good.
I was gonna say, as long as you know what you're getting into, I don't see.
I probably was in the right frame of mind. I'm gonna have to watch it again at some point.
Watch it at the right speed, like doing it at the frame rate that actually makes them move at a normal rate rather than the kind of jerky fast rate. Because I mean, they used to be. I think that they filmed it at like 18 frames a second, and so they need to kind of compensate for that, because if they do it at 24 or 30, God forbid, then I mean they're really zipping along, and it looks funny.
And I was gonna say, there's like I don't know how many different versions of it out there. Like, if you can find the most complete versions, though, those are the better ones. Because, the other versions, you're missing so much of the story and crap. Yeah, it's like, it can be pretty incoherent without the longer stuff in it.
Well, supposedly there, some of the lost footage has been reintegrated into the film.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Find one of those versions. Because, generally, if you can't find those versions, it's the sped up, slow cut version that I think Doomcock's talking about, where you're missing a bunch of shit. So it's pretty incoherent in a lot of places. And some people have like remixed the music for it and done all kinds of crazy shit and re-edited it. And so you got to make sure you're watching a proper version of it.
Yeah, the most recent one, they found some really extensive amount of footage and edited it in. And and also I think recreated the score that it was originally presented with in theaters.
I think that's the one I saw recently. And I'm not sure. I think that version's either on Amazon or Netflix for free to watch.
Really?
Yeah.
I think so. One or the other.
But yeah, but we were saying about how films go unreleased. I mean, probably like you said, the most notable, probably the most infamous film, The Day the Clown Cried, has been unreleased. That I am counting the days until I can see it.
Oh, I want to see it. I'm gonna do the hell out of that film.
Yeah. Maybe by 2021, actually, it's supposed to be opened up.
I get my popcorn ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's bits and
fucking
pieces.
People will get to see my movie finally.
Yeah, it was donated on the French
Floyd
title.
Laven.
Hey, lady!
You don't know how fucking lucky you are. You haven't seen that piece of shit yet.
And for those in the chat wondering what we're talking about,
That's a pretty good Jerry Lewis when he's not fucking around. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, anyway, for those in the chat wondering what we're talking about, in 1971 or 72, Jerry Lewis wanted to make a movie about the Holocaust, so he flies to Sweden, he gets financing, and he writes and he directs this movie called The Day the Clown Cried, about a German clown who was thrown into a concentration camp, and he takes it upon himself to entertain the children there, and and the Germans keep him there, and it's the last shot.
The dark twist is because they notice that he has this trust of the children.
Yeah, they use him to lead the children into the gas chambers, and that's the dark twist. And it's just like you said, it's supposedly a horrible movie. Harry Shearer went on Howard Stern. He said he saw it. He said it's terrible beyond belief. But damn it, that just makes me want to see it more. That's all.
Oh, I love clusterfucks like that. Yeah.
Well, I've already seen it. It was retitled "Life Is Beautiful," and I think it won an Oscar for best foreign film or something.
Well, that's what I was trying to do, was to win an Oscar.
Yeah. Matt Decker says we will never see The Day the Clown Cried. It's in the Library of Congress right now.
We're allowed to see it in 2021. That's what Rob's talking about.
Yes.
I think it was in Jerry's will or whatever.
Yes, he donated it back in 2011, and you have to let it in. It has to be there for 10 years before it can be publicly displayed. So, but we will see The Day the Clown Cried.
There is portions of it out there, like B-roll footage and pictures, and people have put together pieces from the script, because I think the whole script is online. If I'm not mistaken.
And it's been reenacted by certain people too.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not like you can't find stuff out there about it. We probably would have done something about it by now. But we may never know. We may never know.
But it's such an interesting story. It really is. It really is. Because it's one of those things you think... It's almost like an urban legend. You know, you... Remember... What was those popular urban legends like... Remember there was that thing about Susan Olsen from the Brady Bunch? Supposedly she became an adult actress.
I thought she did do a porno movie.
I don't think I think that turned out to be not true.
Now you got to look that up.
Yeah, I do have to look that up
because I thought she did.
But yeah,
because I thought that's why they didn't have her come back for the very Brady Christmas or whatever the fuck it was. Because
are you guys talking about Cindy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because she's the only one who didn't come back.
Wow.
In the reunion movie.
Well, I'm on the Wikipedia page now.
That's an undersung TV movie. Thank you very much. No, I'm just kidding.
An urban legend claimed that Olsen had become an adult film star in late 1990s. In a television interview, Olsen stated that her quote-unquote porn connection was that she created spaceship sound effects for a porn film called Love Probe from a Warm Planet. She did this as a favor for a friend who worked on the technical side of the business. She went on to state that perhaps the legend got started because of the porn film Crocodile Blondie, which was distributed among troops during Persian Gulf crisis, was rumored to be her. She added that since the porn star was very pretty, she did not try too hard to dispel the rumor.
Yeah, that sounds probably more correct.
Yeah. So anyway, So anyway, like I said, the Days the Clown Cried is one of those movies that you think is an urban legend, but the more information I found, the more I said, "Damn, I gotta see this." And like when you find out it's true, you're amazed or just astounded. How could this exist?
Well, it's not so much that it's just a movie that you haven't seen, because there's how many movies that got like up days before production and fell apart, like Superman Lives, but no footage was actually shot that we know of.
Yeah,
I mean, just test footage on stuff. This entire movie was filmed. It was complete.
and there's like, yeah.
Then somebody said, "Jerry, are you fucking insane? You can't release this." Oh my God, you're right. What the hell am I thinking? Why
Yeah, but Harry Shearer said actually there's some kind of thing about the financing, but there's a very prominent Swedish actress who was in it, and she even said this movie is terrible. So
no, I believe that I know Jerry Lewis is a stubborn, very egotistical guy, but he's not stupid. At some point, he had to look at this and go, "Oh, what the fuck was I thinking? I can't release this movie." You know, the people will fucking lynch me. You know, it's like, there's no way. No fucking way. Not even in the 50s would they have gotten away with this movie.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Prince Caspian has a question. Did you guys hear that Fox is trying to do a 24 prequel show with young Jack Bauer? Why?
I seen something about it, but I didn't read it. Yeah, sorry.
That's a good question. Why, indeed?
Because we recognize 24. It's the same reason we got Rise of the TMNT, because here's your little nugget version of our review. It's basically only Ninja Turtles in name only. They could have made it just alien freakazoids from another planet. It wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
It's to cash in on the name, because you recognize the name. That's it.
I think that they just want to do, 24 and tell the story of Jack Bauer when he was a black woman before all the surgery.
When it was Peter
that's really their opportunity to explore that phase of his life, her life. Excuse me. I didn't mean to be disrespectful.
Yeah. I'm looking now. Like I said, I'm looking up. There's a whole list of movies that were made and never released. Don's Plum. There was a Leonardo DiCaprio film. He did it as a favor to somebody. The Last Film Festival, which starred Dennis Hopper. Blackwater Transit with Carl Urban. Hippie Hippie Shake. Australian publisher Rich Nelly. Hippie Hippie Shake period drama focused on 60s countercultures, starring Cillian Murphy. Dark Blood, which is a Western. Empires of the Deep, which is... Oh, this actually looks pretty interesting. Empires of the Deep. China... It's a Chinese movie trying to cash in on the attractive humanoids fighting each other craze. I want to see this, starring former Bond girl Olga Kurylenko. Wow, hey, that's actually a pretty good get for them. The Brave, starring directed by Johnny Depp. My Best Friend's Birthday, made by Quentin Tarantino. American Massacre from Toby. Is this Toby Hooper? Yeah. Oh, there's the Rolling Stones movie Cocksucker Blues. Nothing Lasts Forever and the Fantastic Four. Cocksucker Blues?
Yeah, I've seen a bootleg of that.
Oh, yeah, because that and the Rock and Roll Circus were making the rounds on the bootleg circuit for years of record shows. Yeah.
Well, and then there's the Don Quixote movie with
Terry Gilliam.
Yep, which was gonna get released and finished, and then something else happened again. Now,
God, poor guy.
That movie's cursed.
Sam Cedar, the guy who plays Hugo on Bob's Burgers, he actually made a movie. He actually shot it on the very day of 9/11, September 11, 2001. He had no idea what was going to happen, but because of that, nobody wanted to touch it.
Oh, jeez.
So, yeah.
Tim Augustine asks for a moment of silence because they're shoving Discovery into Star Trek Online.
Yes. Yeah. They're shoving. Yeah, they're shoving. They actually do have the Discovery uniforms available. They gave them away for free as a promotion. I said, you know what? Even I can't turn down free shit. But I just I adjusted the color, made them green. Actually, they do look pretty good green. My thing is on Star Trek Online. My character, the captain of my ship, has a green uniform. At least the shirt is green, because if you look at the original production stills, they don't actually wear command gold. It's actually green. It's actually like lime green, because the color processing and the lighting made them look different on in the finished product. So if you if you look at the production stills, that's actually lime green, and it does look pretty cool, actually.
Huh.
Nice.
Yes.
Zanny Boy 2.0, if I'm saying that right. Zany Boy probably is what it's supposed to be. My bad. What are Harvey's thoughts on writer H.P. Lovecraft? Harvey, are you listening still? Are you still awake?
Yes, I am.
What is your feelings on the writings, the writer and the writings of H.P. Lovecraft?
That goddamn little stool pigeon. If he hadn't opened his big mouth about eldritch gods and stuff, I'd probably be today,
Did he steal your life story?
right in your dimension, destroying everything. He spilled the beans. He let out the goose out of the hat. To coin a phrase, fuck him. He's a good writer, but son of a bitch. Way to spill it.
There's a question actually here.
Angry.
What? From Blue Cat 42. What is something you guys would actually want to see rebooted? Also, what's the worst reboot in your opinion?
We get asked this almost every time.
Like I said, Flash Gordon is actually something that I wouldn't mind seeing done now. Not so much rebooted, but just make a new movie. That's all. That's all.
The worst reboot ever was Ghostbusters, of course, probably. Or
yeah.
Terrible.
Oliver Smith, Doomcock. Will you or Harvey ever do a crossover with anyone from the cartoon community?
I don't know. What is the cartoon community?
You've been asking about the cartoon community for a couple times now.
Is that like its channel itself then, evidently? Guess so.
I don't know.
Must be.
I don't know what it is. So,
Yeah.
I mean, is there like an ongoing alliance of cartoon guys or something?
Yeah, see, the first time we were asked that, what I was wondering was if they just meant somebody in general. Yeah.
I don't know. I've never. I mean, generally, I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't have an answer.
Yeah, I'm not aware of them either, but I'll have to check them out now.
Tim Augustin says.
No, Rob
says they're doing a whole Discovery expansion. Yeah, I see that. Not looking forward to it. Morality 124. Is there a Midnight's Edge Star Trek Online fleet? No, there isn't.
Not yet.
Not yet, at least.
I got to get back on the VR and try that again.
Matt Deckard, Harvey, want a cracker?
Fuck you.
He's not
Polly
a good
wants
kitty.
to get out and eat your soul. That's what Polly wants.
You have a Twitter now, I hear, Harvey, since you're out.
Yes, I do. Actually, I have a H Cthulhu at H Cthulhu. You can hear my thoughts. Yeah.
Doomcock toss you a tablet or something in there, and
Yeah, he said, "Hey, what's that over there?" And I turned around, "Where? What?" And he threw it in. He lowered the field and threw it in, just like with the Fez. I'll never learn.
it was kind of nice of him, though. He gave you something to play with. Are you getting into dating or anything like that, or?
I hope to.
Yeah.
I'd like to spawn. I just gotta figure out how reproduction works first. So, if any of you ladies out there want to be my willing spawn partner, and
Or would it be guys?
no guys.
Human
No, guys.
females are quite complex.
Yeah, Doomcock's the perfect man, and
Just didn't work out.
He doesn't do it for me, so I'm never gonna. I'm just not. I guess I'm just not born that way, and that's all right.
Jace Machine Gaming. Why does Star Trek Discovery look like Seth MacFarlane coming out? Because they have no idea what they're doing. They figured, oh well, people want to see more. People want to see stuff like Discovery, like the Orville. So we got to be more like the Orville.
Yeah,
they're always late to the party.
If you look at any of the comment sections on any advertisement or tweet from Star Trek Discovery, 9 times out of 10, they're either A, I'm not watching it because it's behind a paywall, or B, Orville rules, Discovery sucks. Something along those lines.
Yeah.
And I mean, I
Ain't
told
that
this
the
story
truth?
before, and it was really funny. And I think even Doomcock's heard this story. But my cousin, he's a little bit older than me. He's actually my dad's age, so he's more like an uncle than a cousin. But anyway, point being, I asked him, because he's a big Star Trek fan, especially the OG series, and I asked him, "Have you seen Discovery yet?" And he's like, "No, what's Discovery?" And I had to explain to him there was a new Star Trek show, and I got to the part where I told him, but it's only on CBS All Access, and he's like, "Oh, well, we have that." And I'm like, "And you haven't seen any advertisements or nothing for it on there?" He's like, "Oh, no, we haven't seen anything on there." But he's like, "But have you seen this new show that Seth MacFarlane's got? That shit's hilarious." So yeah, then the conversation twisted over to the Orville, and we had about a dozen people talking about the Orville for about a half hour, 45 minutes at least.
Oliver Smith says the cartoon community are people who reviewed animated shows. Depending on which reviewer you go to, they cover a variety of animated movies and TV shows. Okay.
So like a Channel Awesome kind of thing?
I guess.
I mean, I don't know. I'd have to watch some and, see what they're about, that kind of thing. It's possible, I guess.
Bridge Crew is proper fun. Speaking of video games, actually, the Spider-Man game just went gold, as they say. They transferred the game to a gold master, and they're readying it for production.
Yeah, it comes out real soon, doesn't it?
Yeah, it comes out in September, and that's supposed to be really good. Fine, I keep saying, okay, you want to get Spider-Man, you want to do a Spider-Man game well. Do not make him run anywhere. Okay, he has such a cool way to get around. Why do you make him run? I don't understand why. And I'm surprised what nobody has done since the first Spider-Man PS1 game is have the ceiling be transparent and you're staring, because that's the whole thing. The wall crawling.
Right.
Yeah, and you drop down onto enemies. I'm like, geez, and you web them up, and oh man, why am I not making these decisions?
Well, I seen a cool advertisement. They got a Marvel VR game coming out. I'm just mad because it only advertised for Oculus Rift. I didn't hear about anything for Sony VR or anything like that, because I was like, oh, that looks awesome as shit. It's an Avengers game.
Eric Draven says that was he said in the title of a movie, and he said it's one of the worst movies ever made. Jace Machine Gaming. Here's a follow-up. If the Orville is meant to be a satire of Star Trek, what will happen when Star Trek becomes the parody? Will the Orville be too similar to be considered? It already has. We're already there.
Yeah. Yeah, I really think that's true. I mean, it's just a fucking joke. The goddamn lizard guy, like, sneezing on the guy. It's just like, god damn.
That guy's supposed to be a Saurian.
Yeah, right. Doesn't really look like it, does it?
Remember, 25% different.
Yeah. Means it ain't the same. Do the math.
If I gave you a package of Reese's peanut butter cups and neglected to tell you that 25% of each cup was not peanut butter but mayonnaise, you'd be kind of upset, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
that's exactly right. Perfect.
That's actually a good analogy.
That
is a really good, and we need to use that more.
That's exactly right.
Well, it's true. It's like you're sitting there enjoying. It's like, okay, I'm getting some Reese's peanut butter cups, and you started taking a bite, and you're like, what the fuck is this shit? That's exactly how I felt when I started watching Star Trek Discovery. I even gave it the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, okay, the show's not going to be that bad, is it? Oh, snap, it's worse than I thought.
25% more creamed corn.
In your Hershey's chocolate bar.
Exactly.
or your Mountain Dew or whatever you want to drink.
Yeah. Cream corn Mountain Dew from CBS.
No. And like I said, they have to the human-splain why how you can be such a better person. And they will make you a better person just by knowing them.
That's right.
Spock-splain.
Yes, Mikey's plane. They had the Mikey's plane. Everything.
She needs her own fucking show.
Okay. The Treklog. We covered this in Treklog, but let me ask you a question. The final episode of STD. Have you seen it? Your evilness.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Why do you let a homicidal maniac just run free across the galaxy?
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't fucking understand. Oh, you just let him. Well, blah, 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 like no. You pull a Kirk like in Star Trek 3. You said I could go. I lied. Take her to the brig.
Right.
Oh,
Rob, it's the same reason that they let the guy that murdered the gay doctor stroll around the ship. That's just how they roll.
Have you seen those things on Screen Rant pitch meetings? Have you seen that?
Going straight to hell for that one.
Have you seen that on Screen Rant pitch readings?
No.
Pitch meetings?
Yes,
No?
I know.
They pitch a show or a TV series, and
it's actually pretty clever. I gotta give it.
Yeah, it is actually pretty clever. I can imagine the pitch meeting for Star Trek Discovery. So we have this guy who's really a Klingon in a human body, and he murders the Doctor. Wow, that's some dark stuff. Yeah, it is. So why wouldn't so they don't have security on the ship? Nah, not a single one. Okay then. He goes,
you mean like even back in the day when they used to fucking rewind the tape and watch it in the little room, and Kirk would have the little screen? No, fuck that.
Exactly. And he goes, but why does he have to kill the Doctor? Because it works for me. Because no, they just say because works for me. So yeah. Mikey Spock she has to get onto the shuttle. Yeah, that works out. Barely an inconvenience. Oh, all right then. And they just gloss over everything, and like that's how this pitch meeting would work for Star Trek Discovery. Why would they do that? Because works for me.
No, I got to give it to Doomcock. This is how this show was pitched, and these are his words, so I can't say they're mine. Mikey Spock is the best.
Yes.
She'll tell you how, and if you don't know, she'll tell you.
Exactly.
And I'll add in my part when I come in and say, and then of course, if she doesn't, somebody else will tell you that she can. Because she's the only one who can.
Yeah.
And it's not bullshit. You watch every single one of those shows, and I still have yet to watch the last two shows, but it's either Mikey Spock saves the day because she knows how, or she's telling somebody how, or somebody says, nobody could have done it but you, Mikey Spock. And it's usually Saru. But anyway.
That's it. Yeah. That's exactly right.
And every character only serves only one purpose, to be positioned perfectly so that Mikey Spock can come along and solve whatever problem that needs solving because she's the bestest ever.
I don't like you, but you're the only one who could have done it, Mikey Spock.
Yes. Even when she was in the brig, old Saru said she's the bestest ever. Starfleet officer ever.
I didn't mean to refer to that plank over there in the corner. My bad. You're right here.
And, of course, you're forgetting that at the end of the Harry Mudd episode, after he'd killed them infinite number of times and destroyed the ship infinite number of times in a time loop, what do?
They let him go.
Yeah. They let him go.
Of course.
In the custody of his fiancée.
Because that's what you do with a homicidal maniac. Yeah. You just let them roam free.
Well, it is on Star Trek Discovery.
Well, let's put it this way. They even fucked themselves out of being as clever enough to use the little out that we had claimed, that the whole time we've been in this mirror universe. We thought. Right. No, well, that's not necessarily the case, and we're supposed to get a lot more answers as to why things don't line up with canon in the next season. So, there's some other kind of multiverse or time something that's going to happen. And we know already, since half the Starfleet has been conquered or whatever, that something's going to happen with time travel to where they're going to have to go back and fix shit. So it's just preposterously stupid for them to try and even be that pretentious and try and pretend that this is anything more than just 25% not Trek. And then in the end, just completely not Trek because they're trying to be edgy and shit on top of it. Because even you get to sit there and argue, okay, even if they could do this shit 100%, this would still be a shit show. That's the problem.
Yes.
It's not so much that it's not just shit show for Trek. It just would be a shit show in general because every little twisted turn you see from a mile away, these people are pretentious and they think they're being clever when they're being utterly stupid because Trek's either gone there before and done it 10 times better, or it's just that stupid that nobody would be that dumb to do that. And there's a reason why, because these writers have no sci-fi background. It's not so much that they've never wrote Trek before. I don't care about that. But you don't hire a guy who does dishes to fix your car. Unless you don't want a car that's not going to run by the time he's done. And that's what they've done here. They've hired people who are not equipped to do this job, and now they've done fucked this up. And no amount of fixing can fix it now. Nobody can come in and fix Star Trek Discovery. There is no fixing Star Trek Discovery. It's a dead fucking horse, people.
It is. It's fucked up. It's completely fucked up. They let the emperor of the evil empire go. They just let her loose. Of course, what does she go do? She goes and buys a bar on Klingon homeworld. That's what she does.
She buys a bar.
Yeah, she buys a bar. Didn't you see that scene where like the Section 31 guy like goes up to her and gives her the badge and recruits her?
I forgot. I totally forgot.
Yeah, she's running a bar on the Klingon homeworld, right? Because humans can just go to the Klingon homeworld and fuck around, right?
Well,
sure, because hell.
Like Oliver Smith said, it's a different universe. Yeah, it's still probably a different universe. It's not the quote-unquote mirror universe where everybody has the mustaches.
But some things still just don't make sense.
Well, I mean, they're going to do something stupid to make it line up with canon as best they can, 25% not line up.
It's so fucking stupid. It's irredeemably fucking stupid. There's not a goddamn thing they can do to fix it. Nothing.
On a little different tip here. Josh Wilson asks if Reeves recast Batman for new trilogy, what do you think of Game of Thrones Kit Harington? I don't watch Game of Thrones. So I don't know who that is.
I would think of are almost as old as Affleck, so I'm not even.
I'm gonna have to look up who he is.
At this point, I'd rather them just get an unknown or somebody like that, I guess, that hasn't. I mean, he's maybe a little bit too high profile because of Game of Thrones, but somebody I'm not, and most people aren't going to recognize, basically, because
he's only 5'8". He's only 5.
Yeah,
I'm looking at his stats now. He's 5'8".
Well,
he's
Keaton's
31 years old.
5'9".
Well, yeah.
He looks almost 6 feet with the cowl and everything.
He looks like Johnny Galecki from.
I don't know who you get though. That's the problem. Like I said, everybody I can think of is too old. So
Carl Urban would be kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah, he's too old.
Yeah.
Random Game User says, I'd watch it. Empress Ming's Cheers, where she kills everyone that walks into the bar.
Yes.
Where nobody knows your name and you live.
Or as you call her, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Who Gives a Fuck.
And then
yeah, exactly.
Spock will just make an excuse that she's just that's her ways because that's where she's from, and just watch over it. You know?
And I always did like Morality 124 exactly, where the guy walks in and says, "Welcome to Section 31," and hands her the special secret badge. They have a special secret black badge. I thought they were supposed to be secret.
Remember, we all thought it was going to be Section 31. This is going to be a Section 31 ship. The black badges, the black badges, the NCC 1031, and they never did a fucking thing with it. They totally forgot. Like, oh yeah, we're setting up this thing that might be kind of cool, and they just like, oh yeah, you know that thing? Yeah, nope. We gotta tell you more about how great Mikey Spock is.
And she's got to tell him what's what in the final episode, where they're in the middle of a big speech, like the commandant or the head of Starfleet or whoever the fuck was up there rambling, and Mikey Spock would interject, "This is Starfleet." Well, thanks a lot, bitch. Thanks for interrupting.
You single-handedly destroyed Starfleet. What the?
You stupid wooden ass bitch.
Motherfuck! You keep. Oh my god. Oh, but this is not for you. This is for new fans. This is not this is not for you anymore. This is millennial Star Trek.
It sure as shit isn't for me. I got a fucking brain, you goddamn assholes.
It's for people who don't watch it.
Yeah, exactly. It's for people that don't like Star Trek.
Yeah,
Basically.
yeah.
Because everybody who ever defends it, the first thing they do is, oh, well, the first few seasons of Next Generation sucked ass, too. And I don't...
Yeah, and the first season of the original series was fucking awesome.
Why do you got to tear down classic Trek to try and put this up on a pedestal?
But
because they got nothing else. Because it's shit.
Do you hear people going around? I mean, really, not too often have I ever heard anybody go, well, you know, Superman 3 and 4 were shit. At least Man of Steel was cool. Or anything like that. And I never hear them evoke that. I mean, they'll come up with other reasons why they like Man of Steel. But they won't invoke the old Superman movies and process.
I just want to bring this up. The chick who plays Lisa Left Eye,
Yeah.
Emily Coates, but Left Eye, yeah, but she was on the Shenzhou. She was on the Shenzhou most, and then she's on the Discovery.
She went to Mexico and drank the water.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh.
Montezuma's revenge. But anyway,
she was. I thought you said she had the shits.
Okay. Anyway, she was on the Shenzhou, and then she's on the Discovery. Okay. There's that one little thing where she looks at Mikey Spock. Oh my God, it's you. And nothing about you got my friends killed. You're a traitor. You're not even. You're just a fucking asshole. Really? Because I know if I was serving in the military with someone and they got all my friends killed, they got half my unit killed, whatever, I would say that motherfucker what are they doing on this ship? Nothing. It's just like they don't even remember what Gene Roddenberry said about there's intelligent life on the other side of the camera. This is a series written for people who are no mental capacity, who can't remember 1 minute from the next. And I'm like, motherfucker, you think we're stupid, don't you? And I'm sorry to have to rant about this, but this bears repeating.
But Tyler Bioshock is right, because when we think about Star Trek, we think about cannibalism and sex scenes, with
Klingon boobies.
Boobies. We got a couple other questions here. Let's get away from this.
PJ Channel says season 2 will fix everything, guys. Don't worry at all. Yeah, that's what they told us.
We're not worried at all.
Yeah, fix everything like a fucking dog gets fixed at the vet.
Don't remind me, I got to call the vet tomorrow. But anyway, Christian Medina asks, what do you guys think of Bruce Timm taking over the DC universe? Not a horrible idea, but he needs somebody like Tim Story and stuff like that, or somebody else around to keep him balanced, and they got to stay away from the shit they did to, like, Killing Joke.
Yeah.
Like adding the sex scene for no good reason and all that shit in that stupid Harley Quinn Batman movie.
Somebody said the sex thing became Sex in the Gotham City.
There was another couple good questions here.
Speaking of Trek, for Tom, Robb, and Doomcock, favorite and least favorite Star Trek episodes. Favorite? Oh man, one of my favorites is Balance of Terror is great. Doomsday Machine is great. Taste of Armageddon is great. Drumhead. Space Seed. Drumhead from TNG. Whoa. Josh net.
He's trying to make us gross as much as Solo in Hong Kong.
600 Hong Kong dollars. I have to go to the currency exchange.
Yeah, it's like I don't know.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, but yeah. Wow.
Okay.
Thank you, John.
Hail Doomcock, salutations to Midnight's Edge for supporting Milord's cause. By the way, Ruin Johnson used to work the dishes at UFC. No wonder the food tastes like shit. There you go. You got a dishwasher making a fucking Star Wars movie. Hollywood's insane. Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria.
That's right.
600 Hong Kong dollars is approximately. Oh, that's euros. Damn it! I'm
keep trying. I'll find another question. Oh boy! I know there was some good questions here, guys. We're trying to get to them here. I got to find them here now.
It's roughly $75.
Oh wow!
But, you're Josh. You're very generous. Very generous. Thank you very much.
That's the most I think we've ever had.
Yes. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. And if you hit the wrong button, we'll work with you on that. So, like I always say, we don't want to put anybody out for any in monetary. We're always grateful, but we don't want to cause anybody hardship doing what we do. So
okay, Mick S. Big Boss 77 wants to know our opinion on Bryan Singer's Star Trek proposed Star Trek Federation.
Oh, I heard about it. I read about this. It was
If
actually
he
pretty...
wasn't involved, I might be interested because this is something they talked about doing years ago, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah,
like that
yeah,
Academy show.
It was one of those unused pilots or unused proposals. The Braben said script for City on the Edge of Forever. City on the Edge of Forever is a great episode. Oh my god. Doomcock, pick a number from 1 to 10. No, we'll have Harvey pick a number. Harvey, pick a number from 1 to 10.
6.
Okay. since Doomcock's gonna get back to the lair, we're gonna take 6 more questions.
Yes, and I'm sure you're getting tired as well.
Yeah, it's about 1 a.m. over
Gino
here.
X 1987 wants to know about if we'll ever see the lost footage from Event Horizon. Was that remind me if that was a Hollywood or Dimension movie, the one that used to be owned by Disney? Because if it was, I think that movie is on a list of upcoming videos from Kino Lorber, but I don't know if they have any of that footage or not at this point. That might be something to ask us later on in a Talking Blue, and I can find out for you and ask those guys and listen on that, and maybe we'll have that answer for you. So yeah, there's one down.
Prince Caspian, favorite and least favorite sci-fi movie that isn't based on a popular franchise.
Favorite and least favorite.
Well, I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know. That's so broad. I don't know.
Last Starfighter is
that's probably a favorite. Yeah, I'd have to agree with that.
Least favorite.
There's so many. They're also.
I don't know.
Called Laser Blast or whatever? That one
yeah, Laser Blast. That's what I was thinking.
With who was it who made it? Charlie Band.
Yeah, I don't know, but I like those aliens. I like the guy with the
that's the only cool part, but the movie's horrible otherwise. So that's probably one of the worst. But yeah, the animation in it's pretty cool because they had, I can't remember who it was who did the animation, but it was some pretty high end shit at the time.
Oliver. Okay, well, Oliver Smith. Do you think Teen Titans Go was the start of these perverse reboots like STD, Thundercats, Roar, Powerpuff Girls, 2016, Ben
Kinda,
10,
yeah.
and the She-Ra reboot? Yeah,
it's the first one I can think of.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't remember anything like that where it's like basically a parody of. I'm trying to think. I mean, where they didn't. I don't know. Not something that wasn't at least aimed at little kids or something like that. Anyway, obviously, I mean, like
so
little
before
kids.
Ghostbusters?
The remake? Oh yeah.
The Teen Titans Go? I mean, it was before then.
Yeah. That's been around for like what, good 6-7 years or better. The movie's getting good reviews though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is Jake back in the shack?
Shack.
Yes,
we won't
he
count
is.
That. We won't count that as a question.
We won't count that as a question.
Yeah, when Doomcock finally sees. Yeah, when Doomcock finally sees in control. Will the execution of Kathleen Kennedy, Jar Jar, and Roundhead streamline for everyone to see?
Yes, it will, and I will do that as a public service. And any donations that come over that live stream will be put towards making good Star Wars.
Are you going to cover them in peanut butter and birdseed naked?
Yeah, something like that. It'll be pretty spectacular. I got to think about it. Maybe I'll have a contest for good ideas.
That'll be fun to watch for like a good day or two.
Oh yeah.
Zachariel. So did STD Writers Group get hired by the same people who scouted the people who got hired by the Kathleen Kennedy for her writers, Star Wars Writers Group?
Same kind of group, yeah.
Same the same like Gilmore Girls flunkies. I mean, jeez. Oh, it's terrible. They're terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
But the problem is that STD has a much more qualified writer's room than the Lucasfilm Story Group.
That is true.
They've only written 3 scripts between all of them ever. And yeah.
Oh! I just thought of a really bad sci-fi movie not based on popular franchise, Dark Star.
Oh yeah, isn't that the one that John Carpenter made?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. It was
I've seen it a long time ago. If it is.
Yeah, I think it was John Carpenter or Tobe Hooper, but I think it was.
I think it was John Carpenter then. Yeah. And Matt Deckard brought up Ice Pirates. You know what's funny about Ice Pirates? That is my first memory of going to see a movie in a theater. It's not the first movie I saw in a theater, I guess, from what I'm told. But it's the first movie I remember seeing in a theater, so yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, random game user. Would anybody be interested in doing a multi-stream with a lot of YouTubers to celebrate the day Kathleen Kennedy is fired? Sure, absolutely.
As much as the internet will handle.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, one more question, guys. Let's see. One more question. The DJ D show says yes, he would join in. Giggity.
Okay, Event Horizon was from Paramount. Then Jay Raybold, I wouldn't, or whoever has the original question, was Geno X 1987. Yeah, I wouldn't hold any hope out for that, because I think a lot of that might have been in the footage that they lost in that fire. They had a fire in one of their film vaults, and Paramount lost a shit ton of footage, so it's hard to say if it even exists.
John, okay, I won't count this. Josh Wilson says, did you guys like Johnson's movies before Star Wars, like Looper or Brick? I never saw him. I never heard of him.
I saw Looper, and it was okay.
Yeah. I think I saw Looper.
And I actually have a soft spot for like monster movies and time travel movies, so that says a lot for me. It's for me to just say it was okay.
Right.
Because like I'll say a movie like Primer like blew my fucking mind. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but it's a fucked up time travel movie. You should check it out. It's trippy as fuck. Not trippy in like a psychedelic way, but like fucks with your mind kind of trippy.
I keep hearing about Joseph Gordon-Levitt in bad makeup.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just to make him look like Bruce Willis, and he winces a lot.
All right, last question of the night, guys. Let's make it a good one here. STD's Poor Man's Parent. Yeah. Guys, what about Galaxy of Terror?
That's
Never saw it.
Bad one. Yeah, that's.
Joni was in that. I think she gets assaulted by a monster.
I just watched that not too long ago on Amazon Prime.
Yeah. Midnight said, Space Herpes. Midnight said, do you think Ahsoka would ever get her own Star Wars live action movie? I think she'll be in a movie. I don't think she'll be featured in it, though.
If they, well, you never. Yeah, $5 says she'll show up in some prequel anthology movie somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe in an Obi-Wan movie or something. Who knows?
Okay, last question tonight. Blue Cat 42. Are you planning to watch Cameron's Avatar movies? For me, that's a no.
I think the ship is passed. I really do. Goddamn. How long ago did that come out? Like in 1996 or something?
2004, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, fuck. It's that ship has sailed, man. That script was pretty mediocre.
It's been almost a decade.
It was a fun thing to watch, but the story was pretty lame, and it's just not something that's going to be.
You know how that movie was
dragging my ass back.
Somebody was walking down one aisle reading the screenplay to Dances with Wolves. Somebody was walking down in the other aisle reading the screenplay for Smurfs. They ran into each other. James Cameron picked up the pieces, scribbled out the title, and wrote Avatar.
Pretty much. I think that describes it perfectly.
This is my new movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, okay. Well, I think that's a good place to end it there. Hold on, wait a minute. Would you guys have who would you guys have be the Feige of Star Trek? I think Roxanne Dawson might be a good choice. She worked on it for years.
If that's who I'm thinking of, yeah.
Doomcock.
Doomcock. There you go.
Yes, Doomcock.
Somebody who respects and cares about the legacy. Somebody who knows a thing or two about Star Trek.
Well, Doomcock, a joint venture between Doomcock and Seth MacFarlane.
There you go.
There you go. And we could sing duets, too.
I've heard people bring up Seth MacFarlane as somebody who could run Star Trek, and he'd probably do it gladly. So,
okay, guys, that's gonna have to do it here.
Will we see Harvey ever be released from his dormant prison? Oliver, if you see that, that is the end. That's it. It's over with.
Yeah, Graham South says we're gonna have would we have an orgy when Kathleen Kennedy gets fired? I said that might take a lot of alcohol depending on who's participating. Random game user says, yeah, it depends on who joins. No one would want an orgy with me. Don't sell yourself short. There's somebody out there for everybody. But anyway, let's get off topic.
I was more worried about Harvey.
Harvey may reproduce.
It would be bad.
This Tinder's
it's
working
bad.
out.
Well, we'd like to thank Harvey. We'd like to thank Doomcock for keeping the containment field up tonight.
Oh, you're welcome. It's my honor.
Oh, every night he keeps it up. We live another day to see
Phrasing.
another Star Trek Discovery or Star Wars be destroyed.
Yes. So anyway, go to Overlord DVD.
But you're our insurance.
Yes,
John Tennette, God bless you, my friend. See you next time.
Yes.
Yeah, we didn't get to nearly as many
you.
questions as we wanted to, but of course, when the Overlord gets here, we get going and have so much fun. Sorry.
Everybody, thank you for the super chats,
Yes,
John Tennette,
especially
Tim Augustin, Jesse. Thank you for the super chats. We appreciate it. Like I said,
we have now made more money in Hong Kong than Solo. Woohoo! We're just behind Doomcock.
All right. Yeah, and like I said, if you go to Overlord DVD, go to overlorddvd.com. Go to his store at Zazzle.com. DVD Shoporama.
Zazzle. I like to hear him say it.
Yes, you say you have such a great lilt in your voice when you say it, Doomcock.
Oh, very well.
Your store.
Well, you go to youtube.com/OverlordDVD, or you can go to my Zazzle store at zazzle.com/DVD Shoporama.
Yes.
It's such a zazzle when he says it. It's just
stock up on Doomcock merchandise.
Someday I can afford it.
And go to Doomcock's Patreon while you're at it too, and then go to our Patreon. And if you really like the show, you can become a member for as little as $1 a month. So that's less than like a couple pennies a day or something. I can't do the math, but anyway,
For less than a cup of coffee a day.
Yes, yes. So you can help keep Sally Struthers happy. That's
right.
It's me.
Oh, this is my cake. Give me that cake.
Yeah, give me a cake.
So if you go to our Patreon, you can get early updates.
South Park, sorry.
That's okay. You get early updates. You get lost episodes, making of the Edge DVD. Not making the Edge DVDs, but making the Edge.
Well, we do
episode.
have Blu-rays coming out, though.
Yeah, we do. We have DVDs.
And Doomcock may actually be on one of those.
Yes,
that's right. That's right.
You get early access to our various episodes. We give our patrons early access to the Trek Log animation. Isn't that right, Tom?
That is true. Once I ever get it done.
Yes, and
which hoping I'm going to be working on it next week. Pray that I do.
That would be a good it would be a good extra actually. String all of the animation together.
I had thought about that. Sir.
Yes, and as I always say, if you don't have the means to support us through Patreon, please click subscribe. Subscribe to Doomcock's channel as well. Click the bell icon, share with your friends, and also we'd like to throw a shout out to Random Game User. Subscribe to her channel.
Yes, and Ren and her will be on tomorrow night. Ladies' night.
It is night. Oh, and the feeling's right. Oh, yes, it's ladies' night. Oh, Rob. Oh, what a night. Sophisticated mama. So he's losing his mind.
And I will reap the benefits.
So anyway, last time, thank you for joining us, everybody. 111 people left in the chat. We'd like to bid you adieu to next time. For Doomcock.
Good night, everybody.
For Tom.
Good evening, and thank you once again to Mr. Doomcock for joining us here and gracing us with your presence, Overlord.
You're welcome, gentlemen. Thank you for inviting me.
And thanks, everybody.